everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Liberation Tech podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Renee Jordan, and today we are going to continue what we started last week with lesson D 1.1, a conversation for the future. I want to go back to the guided search for my second digital literacy. So let's just go ahead and get started. All right, so here we are at the blackliberation.tech website. Once again, it is available in both English and Spanish. We're going to head over to lessons, scroll down to interactions, and we will select D 1.1, a conversation for the future. So far, we've read the 4 stories. For those of you who are watching, please pardon my scrolling. I want to move quickly. And we started to answer the prompts as it related to 2 of the 5 digital literacies that I selected to go over. And I'm just going to keep scrolling. So far, we've done researching and implement. And with implement, what I wanted to do was go over the results that I came up with as a result of a simple Google search. And you know how Google now has the AI overview. That's what I'm using as my results for my guided questions. And so here is the guided questions for online search for implement. Search for methods of implementation used by Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in business or tech. How do they overcome the common challenges of putting ideas into practice? All right. And so here are the results that I saved from last week. Leveraging cultural identity as a strategic advantage. Entrepreneurs in these communities integrate their cultural identity directly into their business and technology strategies. Targeting niche markets. Many use their unique cultural understanding to identify market gaps and create products or services specifically tailored to diverse communities. Infusing authenticity into branding. By weaving cultural heritage and values into their company's image, message, and storytelling, they create authentic brands that build deeper customer loyalty and resonate with diverse audiences. Bilingual communication. Bilingual entrepreneurs leverage their language skills to connect with a wider customer base and build smoother business relationships and partnerships. Prioritizing continuous learning and visibility. Entrepreneurs ensure long-term visibility by investing in continuous learning and actively promoting their success. Seeking educational opportunities. To stay competitive, entrepreneurs consistently attend workshops and seminars to hone their skills in areas like marketing and finance. Digital resources and certification programs are also widely used. Marketing and media visibility. Many use digital marketing and media to build brand credibility and share their success stories. Advocacy campaigns are also used to attract investors and raise brand awareness. Self-advocacy and promotion. In environments where their contributions may be overlooked, successful women are deliberate about advocating for themselves. They share their accomplishments, articulate their values, and make sure their successes are visible to their networks and the wider market. Okay, and so that was the end of the results from my guided search. Now I'm going to go into my next digital literacy that I want to focus on in this lesson, which is deliver products. And so here are the prompts that go along with deliver products. When delivering a product or result in your professional or personal life, for example, completing a project, making a presentation, how do you ensure the outcome meets expectations? Reflect on a time when you delivered a product and received feedback. How did you use that feedback to improve your future work? What strategies or tools can help you improve the speed and quality of your product delivery? Guiding questions for online search. Look for examples of Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women entrepreneurs who have successfully delivered products or services. How do they manage their workflow and meet client demands? All right, so let's take a look at my responses. Once again, I pre-populated this so we can go through them a little faster than if I had to think on the spot. So it's okay if it takes you a little while to get through it. Okay, so let's go down to my response. When I deliver a product or result in my professional life, I ensure the outcome meets the expectations by revisiting the original request and checking off that I completed each part of the request/instructions. For example, if I'm writing a proposal to deliver a workshop, I make sure that all of the details are in place. Title, summary, goals, and expected outcomes, as well as target audience and relevance. Prior to the workshop, I send out a pre-workshop survey to determine participants' challenges, expectations, interests, experiences, level of comfort, discipline/role/field, and accessibility needs. From the pre-workshop survey, I make appropriate and feasible updates to the workshop. Sometimes the updates are in the deliverables that the participants take away as opposed to the presentation portions of the workshop. My focus during the workshop is to deliver what I said I would in the proposal while being mindful of the information shared by participants in the pre-workshop survey. That way, participants know that I took what they had to say into consideration. At the end of my workshop, I have exit surveys for participants to complete to receive feedback. These surveys include next steps and needs for support. I received feedback on a workshop covering prompt engineering to support teaching and learning, and there was a request for discipline-specific examples. I thought that it was odd feedback because the workbook I provided gave discipline-specific examples across various disciplines. However, when I was asked to facilitate a subsequent workshop, I went in by asking the participants to provide the instance in their course they wanted to use prompt engineering to enhance or address a challenge. And then we talked about the example together. The reason the latter was possible was because the group was extremely small. I think that the feedback from the original workshop could have been resolved if the individual flipped through the workbook or took the time to complete the homework assignment given to those who registered so that they would have their discipline-specific example upon arrival. So while I used the feedback to support a subsequent breakout facilitation, some things are still up to the part of the participant to implement for themselves. There are several tools that can help me improve the speed of my delivery, including NotebookLM, since it has access to my digital content, for example, podcast episodes and Jordan Nuance LLC site. Consequently, NotebookLM serves as a personal chatbot that allows me to create preliminary drafts for new tasks based on my current content. ChatGPT allows me to take outputs from my conversations with NotebookLM to apply the information in innovative and nuanced ways for the next task or assignment. Gamma allows me to create full presentations with exceptional images and visual aids in minutes based on the outputs from ChatGPT. And Gemini helps me to generate images, alt text, and captions. These tools help me turn my long-winded responses into succinct text and presentations, carry the heavy lifting of graphic design, something that I do not specialize in, but know a good job when I see it, and generating images, specifically of Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women and girls where stock images might be limited. All right, now here's the AI overview of my Google search of the guiding question, which was look for examples of Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women entrepreneurs who have successfully delivered products or services. How do they manage their workflow and meet client demands? So here is the AI overview. There are many successful Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women entrepreneurs who have created thriving businesses across various sectors. They rely on careful planning, setting clear boundaries, and utilizing technology to manage their workflow and meet client demands. Examples of successful entrepreneurs. Latinas, we have Ria Ann Sylvia, Beauty Blender, a professional makeup artist. Sylvia invented the Beauty Blender, an edgeless, reusable cosmetic sponge. Her product has become a staple in the beauty industry. Maria Palicio, Progeny Coffee, a fifth-generation Colombian coffee farmer. Palicio founded Progeny Coffee to create a fairer supply chain. The company sources high-quality coffee directly from farmers, cutting out middlemen. Jessica Alba, The Honest Company. The actress and entrepreneur co-founded The Honest Company, which offers a range of eco-friendly and safe consumer products from baby goods to beauty and cleaning supplies. Carla Gallardo, Cuyana. With a mission to simplify fashion, Gallardo co-founded Cuyana, a brand known for its fewer, better philosophy, creating high quality, long lasting apparel and accessories. Nila Galan, Galan Entertainment and the Adelante Movement. A media executive, Galan founded her own production company and created the Adelante Movement, which empowers Latina women to become entrepreneurs through training and events. Afro-Latinas, Lula Cordero, Bomba Curls. Inspired by her Afro-Dominican heritage, Cordero launched Bomba Curls, a natural hair care brand that shares traditional Dominican hair secrets. Her products are sold in major retailers. Mabel and Shira Frias. Luna Magic. These Dominican American sisters and former Shark Tank contestants founded Luna Magic, a beauty and lifestyle brand that celebrates their Latin Caribbean heritage. Bianca Kia. Yo Soy Afro-Latina. Kia created Yo Soy Afro-Latina, a brand that sells apparel and accessories to build community and empower Black women within the Latinx community. Her business reclaims phrases that have been historically used in a negative context. Lisette Scott, Jam Plus Rico. Scott launched Jam Plus Rico, a jewelry brand inspired by the art and culture of Jamaican and Puerto Rico, connecting her to her heritage through vibrant and artistic designs. Now, while I read these names off, for those who are listening, go ahead and look them up. I'm going to ask you to verify and then trust. Right now, I'm just reading, and I want to once again encourage you to verify and trust that these results are accurate. And if you find that there is a discrepancy, please leave a comment in the comment section and say, hey, this isn't right. Or hey, you know what? There's even more to the story. I want to hear from you. Okay. So for Black women, we have Madam C.J. Walker, Madam C.J. Walker Manufacturing Company, a pioneer of Black hair care. Walker built a beauty empire that made her America's first self-made female millionaire. Janice Bryant Howroyd, Act One Group. Howroyd founded Act One Group, a global staffing and workforce solutions company, and became the first Black woman to own and build a billion-dollar business. Lisa Price, Carol's daughter. Price created Carol's Daughter, a natural hair and skincare line from her Brooklyn kitchen. Her brand eventually partnered with L'Oreal USA, and she continues to be a leader in the beauty industry. Monique Rodriguez, Miel Organics. Rodriguez founded Miel Organics after her hair care routine went viral on social media. Her company has since achieved massive success, resulting in its acquisition by Procter & Gamble. So before I move on, I want to encourage you to take a look at the companies, particularly those who have been acquired by larger companies, and see if the original founders indeed bought them back. So that's a homework assignment for you. Now let's take a look at this next one. Sheila Johnson, Salamander Hotels and Resorts, a co-founder of BET. Johnson is also the CEO of the luxury hotel company Salamander Hotels and Resorts. All right, so let's take a look at the next part of this search: workflow and client management strategies. These successful entrepreneurs often employ similar strategic practices to manage their businesses and meet client demands effectively. Setting clear boundaries, especially for entrepreneurs who are also mothers or juggling multiple responsibilities, establishing firm boundaries is crucial. This can involve setting specific work hours and consciously scheduling breaks to avoid burnout. strategic delegation, and automation. As their businesses grow, these leaders understand that they can't do everything themselves. They often delegate tasks to a team or outsource work. Many also automate repetitive processes such as invoicing and scheduling using CRM software like Dubsado to streamline operations. Thorough client communication. Managing client expectations is key to satisfaction. Successful entrepreneurs ensure they understand their client's vision and are transparent about what is realistically achievable. This is often done through detailed initial consultations and regular progress updates to build trust, honesty, and transparency. To build trust, these entrepreneurs are upfront about any potential setbacks or limitations. If a deadline might be missed, they communicate it honestly and propose solutions showing accountability and respect for their clients. Utilizing project management tools. Many entrepreneurs use project management software like Trello, Asana, or Monday.com to organize tasks, deadlines, and team collaboration. These tools help them stay on top of daily operations and track project progress efficiently. All right, continuous learning and improvement. The top entrepreneurs consistently seek feedback from clients and employees to identify and resolve workflow bottlenecks. They use this feedback to make ongoing adjustments, ensuring their processes remain optimized as the business grows. Staying focused on core goals. Rather than trying to do everything, these entrepreneurs stay focused on a narrow set of goals and initiatives. This prevents them from being stretched too thin and ensures their core business remains a priority. All right. And so let's go to my fourth digital literacy, which will be data analysis. And so here are the prompts that go with data analysis. How do you currently analyze data in your personal or professional life? For example, interpreting survey results, financial tracking. What tools or methods do you use to help you interpret or act on data? Think about a situation where analyzing data helped you make an informed decision. What steps did you take to process the information? How could you enhance your data analysis skills? Are there tools or techniques that could improve your ability to analyze and understand complex data? And then the guiding question for online search, search for resources on data analysis used by Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in tech or business. What tools and techniques do they recommend for beginners? All right. And even if you use my same examples, your search will most likely differ from mine because you have a different search history with whatever search engine you use. And if you go from one engine to the next, you should see some differences between them. So let's go ahead and take a look at my data analysis responses. All right. In my professional life, I analyze data by reviewing survey results and form completion. Getting people to complete documents voluntarily is not an easy task. So when people take the time to complete surveys and forms, I appreciate that first level of effort. Next, I take a look at the survey results and what I can learn about those who completed the forms. For quantitative survey results, I tend to review the charts and graphs generated by the tools so that I can get a visual of the results. For qualitative survey results, I read individual responses, make use of word clouds, and look for themes. I also consider the level of engagement from participants during the workshop. Not all participants will complete the exit survey. So I make note of the questions and comments made during the workshop, as well as any silent portions of the workshop. Were people thinking before engaging, or did they not engage at all? That's going to make a difference in the type of silence that I experienced during the workshop. Analyzing the pre-workshop survey data for the prompt engineering workshop helped me to determine the alternatives and variations that I provided in the corresponding workbook. Although I would not have the time to go over all of the different examples in the workbook, that were developed for the different roles participants held at their institution. I was able to call out during the workshop that alternatives existed and encourage participants to find one that was close to their current role or responsibility. Likewise, I was also able to point out that there were examples for those in different disciplines to use, and when questioned, explain the differences in the templates for the different disciplines and how those were just examples that in fact could be used across disciplines. Yes, there are tools that could improve my ability to analyze and understand complex data. For example, I can use de-identified data with ChatGPT to help me analyze data with the intent to revamp the exact workshop for a new audience or perhaps a subsequent workshop with the same audience. For example, I could say, ChatGPT, I received the following feedback from participants. Insert the feedback. Based on your analysis of the feedback, how can I enhance this workshop? Insert various aspects of the workshop, goals, objectives, slides, and workbook outline. Okay, so once again, the guiding question for online search: search for resources on data analysis used by Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in tech or business. What tools and techniques do they recommend for beginners? And so these are the search results that I came up with when I did my Google search. And this is the AI overview. Once again, please check out these results for yourself, dig them up, look at the actual items that are being recommended, and see if what's being said about them aligns with the actual tools. All right, so beginner-friendly tools: Microsoft Excel and Google Sheets. These spreadsheet programs are widely used and excellent for beginners to learn the basics of data organization, cleaning, manipulation, and visualization. Core functions include pivot tables, VLOOKUP, and built-in graphing. Microsoft Power BI and Tableau. These tools focus on business intelligence and data visualization. Their drag and drop interfaces allow users to create interactive dashboards and visualize data without needing extensive programming knowledge. SQL, Structured Query Language. This is a fundamental language for working with data stored in databases. It's used for extracting, filtering, and joining data, and is essential for analytical projects. Foundational techniques. Define your objectives. Before beginning, define the business problem or question you want to answer. This provides direction and ensures your analysis is relevant. Learn the data analysis process. Follow a systematic process that includes data collection, identifying and gathering data from relevant sources, data cleaning, handling missing data, and correcting errors to ensure accuracy. Exploratory data analysis, EDA, using visual and basic statistics to find patterns, anomalies, and relationships. Data visualization, presenting findings using charts and graphs that are easy for stakeholders to understand. Practice with public data. Platforms like Kaggle, data.gov, and GitHub offer free, publicly available datasets. Working on small projects is an excellent way to gain practical hands-on experience. Build a project portfolio. Create a portfolio to showcase your practical projects, analysis, and insights. This is an important asset for attracting potential employers. Develop effective communication. Data analysis is about more than just numbers. It's crucial to practice communicating your findings clearly and tailoring your message to your audience. All right, and so my fifth and final digital literacy that I am taking a look at is create. And so here are the prompts that go along with create. How do you approach the creative process when using digital tools? What tools or platforms help you bring your ideas to life? Can you share an example of something you've created digitally, whether for work, a hobby, or personal use? What was your creative process? How do you plan to expand your creative capabilities in the digital space? Guiding question for online search. Look for Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in creative fields, for example, graphic design, animation, or music, who use digital tools to create. What projects have they worked on? Okay, and here are my responses to this last set of prompts. I approach the creative process by writing notes on what I visualize in my mind about an opportunity or a project. I imagine the flow, who will be interested in coming, and the amount of time they have to engage in the opportunity or project. I also recognize that anything over 45 minutes or an hour will require an intermission or another opportunity. Some of the tools and platforms that help me bring ideas to life include my Notes app, where I can jot down my ideas wherever I am on my phone when they come to me. The Art app on my iPad that allows me to draw, ChatGPT, which can help me with brainstorming, NotebookLM that allows me to do a deep dive into my digital content for new opportunities to apply what I have on hand. Gemini allows me to talk out what I see visually in my mind to generate images along with corresponding alt text and captions. And Gamma helps by creating visuals based on my notes, outlines, or summaries of text. I have also used Napkin AI for visual storytelling, turning text into visuals like diagrams and infographics. Something that I have created digitally is the Black Liberation.Tech open educational resource. And so here's my brief description of that. Black Liberation.Tech is an open educational resource designed to make technology accessible through the power of storytelling. I created the platform to use stories to teach girls and women about digital literacies, technology skills, and career pathways while offering academic, career, and prompt engineering coaching. My creative processes included creating images for the main characters for the platform who are based loosely on those who contributed to my dissertation. I drew out the characters on my iPad and asked my nieces and nephews to name the characters. I then collaborated with ChatGPT to develop their job descriptions and character sketches. From there, I used the findings from my dissertation to determine the scope of the open educational resource. For example, the topics included safety, careers, interactions slash digital literacies, content slash media literacy, and tech, which covers hardware, software, and applications, as well as coding and programming. From there, I dove deeper into my data to develop stories and lessons based on what contributors identified as important for mothers and daughters to know. I plan to expand my creative capabilities in the digital space by learning more about digital marketing. Now, here's the AI overview for the guiding questions for online search. Look for Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women in creative fields, for example, graphic design, animation, or music, who use digital tools to create. What projects have they worked on? So let's go ahead and take a look at my results or my responses. All right, once again, this is the AI overview. Please feel free to look up these individuals and products and organizations for yourself. Okay, so leading creative women from Latina, Afro-Latina, and Black women communities are making significant impacts in digital focused fields, including graphic design and digital marketing. They are founders, executives, artists, and strategists who leverage digital tools to build brands, amplify underrepresented voices, and drive social change. Latinas in creative fields. So we have Susana Rodriguez de Tembleske, graphic design, role Vice President of Brand Experience and Design at IBM Watson, with a career including roles at Apple, SY Partners, and Wired Magazine projects. Her digital design work has contributed to major brand strategies for technology and media companies. She is a recipient of multiple design awards and was named a Woman to Watch by Step and GD USA. Ingrid Garcia, digital marketing role, a creative strategist and social media curator projects. Garcia has used digital tools like intentional copy and strategic social media engagement to create impactful brand experiences for clients, including Bumble and Skillshare. Violeta Hernandez, graphic design illustration. Role, Mexican product design and illustrator. Projects, Hernandez reinterprets traditional Mexican motifs, patterns, and forms in her work, blending traditional design elements with contemporary digital aesthetics. One notable project is her book, 30 Perceptions of a Tiger. Afro-Latinas in Creative Fields. Rena Noriga, graphic design illustrator. Role, an Afro-Latina illustrator, visual design artist, and educator. Projects, using bright, bold digital illustrations, she creates work that centers and celebrates women with a focus on inclusion and forward thinking. She created an illustration for Estee Lauder in honor of Latinx Heritage Month. Janelle Martinez, digital marketing slash journalism. Role, a writer and the founder of Ain't I a Latina? An online destination celebrating Afro-Latinx womanhood. Projects, through her blog, public speaking, and appearances on platforms like MSNBC and NPR, Martinez uses digital tools to drive conversations about Afro-Latinx identity, media, and culture. Next, we have Linda Luz Carrillo, graphic design slash visual art. Role, a Peruvian graphic designer and visual artist. Projects, she founded the event series Cultura Negrita to explore the layers of Afro-Latinx culture. Through her visual art and design work, she explores her intersecting identities and the influence of Black culture. Black women in creative fields. Gail Anderson, graphic design. Role, designer, writer, educator, and partner at Anderson Newton Design. Projects, a highly influential designer known for her typography. Anderson's digital and traditional work has appeared on subways, theaters, and social media. Her pieces are permanent collections at the Copper Hewitt Design Museum and the Library of Congress. Latoya Shambo and Latoya Bond. Digital marketing. Role, co-founders of Black Girl Digital Inc., a digital marketing and influencer agency. Projects, their agency has worked with major brands like VH1, BET, and Sephora to create innovative, data-driven, multicultural marketing solutions. Their campaigns have generated over 100 million impressions by amplifying diverse creators. Bozoma St. John, digital marketing. Role, a veteran executive with previous roles as Chief Marketing Officer, CMO, at Netflix and Chief Brand Officer at Uber. Projects, known for her energetic and groundbreaking campaigns, she led marketing for Apple Music and launched a podcast with Katie Couric. In 2014, she was inducted into the American Advertising Federation Hall of Achievement. Sylvia Harris, graphic design slash information design. Role, a pioneer in information and social impact design. She founded Sylvia Harris LLC, a design and strategy company. Projects, using digital and analog tools, she worked on influential projects like the 2000 U.S. Census form, making complex information accessible to more people. Her legacy continues to inspire social impact design. All right, next we have Cheryl Miller, graphic design. Role, a graphic designer, author, and diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI activist. She founded one of the first Black women-owned design firms in New York City. Projects, her design work focuses on social impact and corporate communications for organizations like Fortune 500 corporations and African American organizations. She is also creating an open source database on the history of Black graphic design in North America. Jessica Bellamy, graphic design. Role, an entrepreneur, visual storyteller, and motion infographic designer. Projects, Bellamy uses digital tools to create data-driven visual stories and infographics. Her work helps nonprofits and communities drive social change and action. Now, that's the end of that guided search. Now we can go on to step number 2. That was long, but this is going to be really brief because once again, I did a search before getting started to determine what I wanted to do so that I can give you the answer in a faster manner. So, step 2, create your project idea. Using your answers to the above questions, start to think about a project for your personal, academic, or professional journey. Your project can relate to any of the following. It could be personal, creating a new habit or setting a goal for self-improvement; academic, completing a research paper, group project, or personal academic endeavor; professional, building a portfolio, developing a new skill, or launching a new business idea. And so I decided to go with a professional project. So I'm going to scroll on down to the professional projects. Please note there's more information on the other two, which were personal projects and academic projects. So I'm going to scroll past those and go to professional projects. And out of the professional projects, there are 5 ideas: a digital marketing campaign, tech solution for a business process, online learning platform or course, build a professional website or portfolio, entrepreneurship project. And so the professional project that I decided to go with was the digital marketing campaign. And so this is what it has for the digital marketing campaign. Digital literacy is covered: research, implement, deliver products. Project idea: plan and execute a digital marketing campaign for a personal project or small business. In my case, I'm going to focus on my small business, Jordan Nuance LLC. And just the FYI, BlackLiberation.tech is a product of Jordan Nuance LLC. So you're going to use analytic tools to track performance and adapt the campaign based on data. Publish content on social media and blogs to engage your audience. All right, so now I can move on to step 3. Step number 3, generate prompts for ChatGPT to help create your project. Now let's use ChatGPT to break down your project into actionable steps. For each project, use the following template and fill in the details. So, ChatGPT prompt template 1, project planning. Insert your responses to steps 1 and 2 as context for step 3. Use all of the above to help me plan a insert project type: personal, academic, professional project. My goal is to insert purpose or reason for the project. I need a step-by-step plan to complete this project, including tools and strategies to implement it. Please also include how I can adapt the tools and technologies, try different approaches, and implement effectively. The specific areas I need help with are: list the digital literacies such as adapt, implement, deliver products, etc. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do what it says. I'm going to go to my file and I'm going to grab the prompt that I already filled in, as well as my steps, everything that I have for steps 1 and 2. Now this looks like a lot because it is. So I'm going to keep scrolling until I get to my number 1, which was here. And so once again, my digital literacies that I covered included researching, implement, deliver products, data analysis, and create. So I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to head over to my conversation with ChatGPT and I'm going to hit paste, and I will scroll on down to this last portion, which has my edited prompt. And so this is my prompt: use all of the above as context to help me plan a digital marketing campaign project. My goal is to increase paid opportunities, prompt engineering workshops for Jordan Nuance LLC. I need a step-by-step plan to complete this project. Include tools and strategies to implement it. Please also include how I can adapt to new tools and technologies, try different approaches, and implement effectively. The specific areas I need help with are researching, implement, deliver products, data analysis, and create. And so the reason it's important for me to use all of the above as context is because it's going to help ChatGPT understand where I'm starting off with, what I have done in the past, how I use data analysis, and all of that. And so by providing that context, I'm going to get a more rich response than if I just started with this prompt alone. If I started with this prompt alone, it would give me answers. However, by including all of those responses to those prompts that I completed earlier, I'm going to get a richer output. So let's take a look and see what happens when I hit go. For those of you who are watching, you're able to see the responses as ChatGPT creates them. I'm not going to read all of this. I am going to save it for myself so that I can implement it based on my level of comfort. It's creating a 90-day plan, and it has the weeks mapped out. So I'm just going to hit the high points. It says 90-day digital marketing campaign, Jordan Nuance LLC outcomes, and it has the list of outcomes or targets, if you will. After outcomes, it provides information on the core offer, priority segments, and messaging. It provides information on that, funnel map, how to go from awareness to interest, consideration, conversion, retention slash advocacy, tool stack. So it talks about the different tools that I can use to help implement this plan. And then it gives a week by week plan for the 90 days. Weeks 1 and 2, I have researching. Weeks 3 and 4, it says create. Weeks 5 and 6, it has me to implement. Weeks 7 to 10, deliver products. Weeks 11 through 13, data analysis, and then ongoing adaptation loop. It provides KPIs and targets, and then information on scripts and snippets. So it also includes prompts I can paste into ChatGPT. So for researching, create, implement, deliver products, data analysis, and adaptation. So I'll read one of them as an example. This first one for researching says, act as a market researcher. Given this offer, insert workshop packages, list 10 pains, 10 desired outcomes, and common objections for segment, insert segment. Return as a table. Okay, now I actually have my audiences segmented, so I will be able to insert my personas there. I'll read another example for create, write a landing page, English and Spanish for insert segment, include headline, subheading, 3 value bullets, packaging comparisons, frequently asked questions, call to action, keep tone warm, practical, and community centered. Implement. Here's an example for implement. Create a 6-week LinkedIn content plan, 3 posts per week using these pillars: safety first, AI, discipline prompts, case notes, bilingual tips, community impact, include hooks and call to actions. For deliver products, it says turn these pre-survey themes into a customized workshop agenda and a 1-page implementation checklist. All right. And so it provides at the end quality and inclusion checklist run before launch, clear boundaries and scope, realistic outcomes, ethics and privacy note, bilingual headline plus call to action, alt text present, accessible fonts / contrast. Testimonials reflect Latinas, Afro-Latinas, and Black women where possible. Every public link has a UTM tag. Every form routes to CRM. Reply by 24-hour rule. Okay, and then ChatGPT says, if you want, I can turn this into a one-page landing copy draft, an email sequence, and a mini dashboard template. Just say the word. With that, I'm going to stop where we are for today and wrap up this episode of the Black Liberation Tech podcast. I want you to go ahead and take a look and see what your search results come up with when you do those guiding questions. And then when you get those guiding questions results, double check and verify those results for yourself and see what you think about them. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Black Liberation Tech podcast. I am your host, Dr. Renee Jordan. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and share, rate, and review the podcast to help it become more discoverable. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye.